Honey, I am disgusted. Okay, I'm disgusted at the display of tomfoolery that went down on episode 5 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta about last night. Okay, it's a lot of emotions that I have here because you know what? I've been, and I know y'all know by now, I was a longstanding fan of Kenya Moore. For the longest, I've always felt like she always had the shit into the sticks. At the end of the day, when it comes to starting drama and stuff like that, people really try her. They would try her and she would blow up. And that's basically what I talked about with the last episode. I said that when you keep pushing and pushing and pushing people, they react, and sometimes people react a little bit too rash. And that's exactly what happened here, okay? Hello and welcome to The Darren Green Show, your weekly dose of pop culture news, music, social media gossip, and reality TV. Please be sure that you are commenting under this video. Can't stress that enough. We got to make them recommendations, honey, okay? So please be sure to leave a comment. And if you're not already subscribed to the show or the channel, subscribe right now, okay? Subscribe right now. To the audio listeners, hey, how y'all doing? The last episode is doing pretty well. I'm seeing the views so far. So I'm like, okay, girl, y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all been doing y'all thing for a couple of weeks, child. Shout out to y'all. Let me give y'all a little love. Yeah, so we got to talk about season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 5 about last night. We're going to do like a dry run of what is going on, but we're mainly going to talk about the main topic. So if some scenes are not talked about, girl, it ain't make the cut with this video, child. I got to get right into the things, okay? I guess we can start off with this timeline. So it starts off with Shamia. Shamia invites Angela over, right? And then eventually, I believe, Brittany Eady shows up. Well, it looks like they've moved forward. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Angela and Shamia, they need to just come together, unfriend Portia, unfriend Drew, and y'all need to be besties, okay? At this point, because we tired of seeing it. Y'all are the friend of the friends beefing, child. They always do that. They always pit them against each other. So yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys are back in good graces. Now, yeah, Brittany Eady shows up, and that's the main point of this scene, right? You know Shamia got to be a little bone collector. You know she got to be a little bone collector, okay? So, it was brought up, the situation that happened. Shamia's like, what's going on? What happened? Like, where did this come from? And Brittany Eady is showing signs that she's taking accountability. Like, she's saying, you know what? I blew up. I overreacted. This, that, and the third. I want to extend the olive branch. She's doing this little apology tour to everybody, and then eventually she's going to get to Kenya. Unfortunately, we all know how that happened if you saw the episode, child. Angela also brings up the fact that she got criticized by that, I think it's called The Bank, okay? Like, the venue was like, what's going on? Like, why is it that we need security and this, that, and the third, and you bringing this craziness going on? And I was like, oh, snap, not they call her complaining, girl. But no, I think it is on Angela's side. I invited you girls to this event. I know you girls probably thinking, oh, it's in the hood or whatever, this, that, and the third. But like, at the end of the day, like, safety is the number one concern. If y'all sitting here going buck wild, Edie, talk about pistols and whips, like, girl, no, you don't do that. They get into the argument between Kenya and Brittany claims that Kenya was cutting her off. And I have to stop you right there, Britt. Now, Kenya was not cutting you off. Kenya was reading you. Okay, there's a difference. There's a difference, honey, because if you can't keep up and you just, you're going to get cut off. Okay? So that's the name of the game. You wanted your moment, you got your moment, and you over-exuded yourself, honestly. And it was Angela that revealed herself for actually asking that shady-ass question. I was like, girl, you shady as hell. But ultimately, Brittany was like, I would never harm Kenya. I want to extend the olive branch. I want to make things better and apologize and take full accountability and stuff like that. That's so interesting that you're doing that now. But looking back, because Andy confirmed it, because when we're going to get into that video of Cynthia talking about the situation, but there has been 2 investigations during this season. It's the one where we're about to talk about with Kenya in the poster boards. And then it also was the situation where you're threatening Kenya with a pistol. So I'm pretty sure that you got a stern conversation that happened after that tape, and you got a good little call from the producers and possibly Andy Cohen. Bitch, you better piece it up. You better piece it up. Because I don't know what you got going over here. Like I said, they probably told her, this ain't Love and Hip Hop, and this ain't Baddies. This is Bravo. Okay? honey, we high class over here. We don't do that. We don't do that pistol whip talk. We don't do that. Okay. I'm pretty sure she had a stern conversation, and that's why Brittany Eady is on this apology tour this episode. Okay. Because this is an apology tour. Now, Samia brings up Portia to Angela. What was going on with that? And Angela's, I don't know. I don't know why she would even say that. Angela's feeling a little bit of a way with this. And then Brittany made her little comment, talk about something. Yeah, you bring up somebody's husband, somebody gonna get slapped. I'm like, see, now you didn't learn. Because my thing is, girl, who you gonna smack? Not Miss Heavyweight Portia Williams. You ain't smacking. Smack who? Girl, you need a pistol for her. Let's be very clear. Anyway, it cuts to a moment with Kenya and Portia, right? They start cutting it up. Kelly shows up. They're at the actual salon, and they bring out models and stuff like that. I thought this was very confusing in the actual event. Why do you need models? It's like, girl, this is hair care. Bitch, where's your staff? Like, where's your hairdressers? Come on, your receptionists, something, managers. Girl, this should have been the moment where you sit there and be like, this is the team, this is the Kenya Moore hair care team, and this is my hairdressers, and this is this, and this. Like, where are these people at? Did you not go through the hiring process? You worried about doing all this extra getting back stuff, and you not even gotten your stuff together. That's what pisses me off about Kenya. Keep your eyes on the prize, girl. You got it. You had the many years on this show. You've immense so much fame and so much love from so many people. We do clown shit. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay. So she brings out the models, and Portia brings up Brittany. What's going on with that? And Kenya is very upset. Now, Kenya is very upset about the display that Brittany Eady did, rightfully so. You don't threaten to pistol somebody. At the end of the day, we can talk a good game about how we're very heavily protected because they try to put that little video of Kenya showing her little Glock in her own home. Okay. Not around nobody. You get what I'm saying? Not saying that, I got a pistol. Like, she's never gotten into an argument with somebody and said, I got a Glock. You get what I'm saying? So this was very much an isolated situation. No, you said this to her. And yes, if I get into an argument with somebody and somebody said I got pistols and whip, I'm thinking they got it on them. And you asking for your husband, so your husband is bringing it to you. You get what I'm saying? So that's basically what's being said. Kelly is trying to say, oh, no, that's not Brittany. That's not Britt. Look, Kelly, you going to be on her side or you going to be on her side? You're going to have to pick a side. Because she's trying to sit there and try to defend. That's not her. And Kenya's, I'm not going to be gaslighted into thinking that this girl can't do some bodily harm. And girl, Kelly says she didn't hear Brittany talk about that damn pistol. Girl, yes, she did. Yes, she did. Stop lying. You were right there. You was next to her. And then Portia says Kenya should do her due diligence into talking to other people to see if they can corroborate that story of her saying that she going to use a pistol on her or whatever. And that's when Kenya was like, okay, I'm going to do my due diligence. Yeah, I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to do a background check. And Kelly's response was so funny. She was like, girl, she need to be doing a background check on these damn employees. The lack thereof. Like, Kelly got her with that one. I ain't gonna lie. Kelly got her with that one. That was funny as hell. Anyway, it cuts to a scene with Angela and the daughter. They get into it. They're talking about like how the daughter's not getting along with the grandma and how like the daughter basically got married and didn't tell Angela and stuff like that. It was I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. That was a fake ass moment, child. They crying. Girl, I just feel like you should have told me. You should have told me. I don't dislike Angela. I don't dislike Angela. So I don't want y'all to think that I do. But it's not like when she has her own scenes with her own family. So it's only entertaining when that husband be on there. And we'll get into it because that husband, he don't want to be there. He funny as hell. But I'm sorry, the other storylines that you got going on, Angela, it's just not coming off authentic. Y'all was crying at that damn restaurant. Girl, makeup is still intact and everything. Y'all got that little, y'all trying to make that little triangle. Girl, y'all not Candace Dillard, so I'm not here for it. Now, Brittany Eady meets with Portia. Like I said, she's doing this apology tour. She's talking about her wanting to reach out to Kenya and apparently apologize. And Portia was really defending Kenya. Like, this could have been like the operative time to be like, well, yeah, she do that to people. And then that would have had a montage of Portia and Kenya getting into it. But Portia basically tells Brittany that, girl, ain't nobody said that what Kenya said about that wedding band was not shade. Everybody said it wasn't shade, girl. You the only one that's saying it. And she said something very profound in the confessional. Talk about Portia now. She said that your perceived notion of Kenya is getting into it with somebody that she doesn't like. So, and I'm going to break it down how I took that confessional. I think she's trying to sit there and say, like, you're making beef with Kenya, right? Under the guise of other people's discretions against Kenya. Like, your reasoning on why you don't like Kenya is other people's reason, other people in the past that had actual issues and actual arguments and actual frustrations with Kenya. You get what I'm saying? You don't know her long enough to be having these conversations and saying that she's this way when you don't even know her. You're going based off what you've seen on TV because you were a super fan and you got a little caught up. You got too much dip in your chip. Okay? And that's just basically what Portia was trying to say there. And I thought I was like, okay, yeah, all right, Portia, you doing your damn thing. Now she brings up the pistol whip situation. Hey, you know, what was going on with that? She, like I said, Britt is taking full accountability. She said, you know what? I felt like I shouldn't have said that. I want to have a scene with her so I can talk to her. And it's that and the third. And it ends off like that. Now, Angela has another scene with the hubby. Now, I am going to talk about this because this shit was funny as hell. Because I'm like, sir, stop. Because they get to talking about whatever they're going to talk about. I don't know what led up to the conversation, but they brought up Portia. And she basically said, well, Portia says she got some information on you or something like that at the party. And then why the husband talk about something? She better stay in her own lane and that she's barking up the wrong tree. I said, ooh, okay, now, sir. What? Whoa. He said, she don't even know me. And then Angela was like, well, I'm handling it. Well, he said, well, what did you say? I was like, I was defending you. I was trying to get to the source of what was going on. Why was she saying that and stuff like that? I was like, oh, girl. That was a little funny moment right there. He don't want to be there, child. You could tell because when she started talking about like the mom and her daughter getting into it, she's like, look, I don't even talk to my own siblings. I'm like, he's not taking this serious at all. He is not trying to do this show at all. It is funny to watch. I'm not going to hold you. Anyway, we're getting things together for Kenya's event. Everybody's getting ready. Everybody's getting their makeups done and hair, weave. Everybody's on their way. And Kenya got actual influencers and a whole paparazzi crew outside. She had a little red carpet thing and people taking pictures and photo ops and people were doing interviews. Cynthia showed up. She did an interview. Portia, I believe she did an interview. They did a little photo ops. Brittany Eady is not there yet. It's going to work into it. We're going to work into it, okay? And we go inside and we get this event where we're seeing these models that she has hired to walk across the damn, I guess, runway or whatever. And then they got the little the tens flash card. Like, this is some ballroom type shit. I was like, what is this, girl? And then there was a winner, like, was it a contest or they was getting paid to be models? What is this? What is going on? Kenya does not, she need an event planner. She got to stop doing her own events, child. She got to stop, honey. Because what even is, this is a opening, or I wouldn't even say an opening because, girl, we ain't see your staff yet. But this is like I guess you're unveiling the salon and it looks nice and pretty inside. But what we doing? What we talking about? What was things that could have, as it pertains to like hair care and stuff like that, could have been an opportunity to her to present some things. You had this model show. This is goddamn She by Sherelle, She by Kenya or something, child. I'm like, what is this? Is fashion or is this hair care? Like, I didn't get that. Portia still says she ain't messing with Drew because I guess they had to give Cynthia the 411 because Cynthia has not been there. Now, she brought up Drew. And my thing is, did we forget that Drew was a cast member? Because I definitely did. Because Drew was there. She showed up and I'm like, oh, Drew, you're a cast member. I forgot. Yeah. It's like, where you been at, baby girl? We get to sit down. Well, Britt and Kelly's on the way to the actual event. Britt does reveal that her aunt did pass away and that is sad. And that's that on that. And so she's going through a lot with that. Kenya speaks with Angela for a second and basically they talk about like talking about the situation with Brittany Eady and Kenya saying her piece and Angela saying her piece, okay? Now, Portia gave Cynthia the 411 on Brittany and Kenya, and child, when I tell you, Britt shows up, okay? She shows up, and now Drew gets to the group and she starts saying hi to everybody. So everybody's together except for Kenya. Kenya's upstairs. She's doing something. She's doing other things. She notices that Brittany Eady is here, but she's just rolling her eyes and just continuing what she's got going on. And when Drew goes to the group and she's like talking to everybody, saying hi to everybody, everybody's here. Shamia, Angela, Kelly, and Brittany, they're all here. Drew goes for a hug for Portia and Portia's like, okay, I don't know. She's like, look, I don't bite. And then Portia was like, yeah, but you do behind people's backs. I was like, and then she's like, okay, girl. Drew tries to speak to Portia Basically, she says that I'm not messing with Dennis, and she said it's like that. I'm not messing with Dennis. It's okay. You can have your little hot dog. And I said, Drew, that's where you started. That's where you went wrong. Because yes, Portia's not trying to have a conversation with you, but you saying stuff like that, like, girl, you being like a girl, don't try it. So Portia's not having it. Like, she basically walks off. And we get the confessional of Drew being like, well, damn, like, at the end of the day, you know, I'm trying to have a sit down conversation with you. And so at this point, anytime I see you, we just gonna talk about it. Cause she made that comment too. She was like, oh, we're both going through a divorce. Cause at the end of the day, there's some things that you have to reveal. Like, we both going through a divorce. So that means I have to reveal information about my divorce. Girl, just because you do that shit doesn't mean I do that shit. And and legally, Portia can't. So I don't know if you've been keeping up with the blogs, Drew, but hello. Drew, you coming off messy. But I know why you're really mad. They're mad because they were slated to tape to have a sit-down conversation. And apparently Portia kept on canceling. Portia says she was sick. Drew thinks otherwise. But Portia also said that I've heard some information about Drew and what she's been doing. And she's basically, I'm not talking to this girl. I'm not giving this girl time of day, this, that, and the third, yada. And that's my thing with Portia. Portia, you got to play the game. We know you can't talk about your husband. We know you can't tape in your house. You're going to have to do something that's going to make the drama. You cursed her out in the couple episodes ago. Girl, come on. Y'all gotta clock in. I know you don't want no drama, but you want a show about drama. Come on. Play the game. Now Kenya shows up, okay, to get a gist of what's going on. And when Kenya shows up, Britt tries to extend the olive branch. She gives her the flowers, and Kenya's just like completely ignoring her. Just, yeah, whatever. She didn't say nothing to her. She says nothing to her. And that's all she should have done. That is all. If she would have just did that, kudos to you, Kenya. You a shady mofo, okay? But you still got your damn job. Anyway, she completely ignores her. Brittany walks out and says, I extended my olive branch. I don't even care. She left the flowers there. Kenya makes an announcement. She gathers everybody to make the announcement. And when she said that, my whole stomach dropped to the floor, okay? My whole body just caved in and dropped to the floor because I already knew what the fuck was happening. She makes this announcement and she does this big monologue about I want to be a role model to my daughter and this and the third. And it was really good. And then she said, but you know, there's some people that are really trying. There's people that's maligning me. And she was basically talking about the situation that happened at that damn dinner. Okay. And when she did that, she said, I got a lot of surprises. They try to take she told one of her assistants or whatever, go ahead, take them flowers away, give it to somebody homeless. I'm like, girl, what? Give it to somebody homeless? Girl, Kelly tried to go for the card. She said, let me get the card. She said, no, throw that away, stay out of it. I was like, and she said, you know what? She said she kept on telling me that she doesn't know me. She doesn't know me. I don't know her. And yeah, I don't know her. So I did a background check. She pulls out the first poster board, child. Okay. The first poster board shows us, I guess, Brittany Eady before she was Brittany Eady, before the rhinoplasties and nose jobs and all that stuff back in the tape days. Okay. Yeah. People are like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Why are you doing this? She shows the second poster board. Okay. And I don't know what it was. I forgot what the second one was. Tell me what y'all, tell me in the comments what the second poster board was. But the third one was her performing lip service, I should say. Okay. And that's when people start walking out. Not even just like cast members, because there was some cast members that walked out. Like Kelly was one of the first ones. She walked all the way out. She walked out. Portia, by the time we got to the third poster board, Portia was out. Portia, she had no words. No words were said. She just walked out. And not only did the cast members walk out, but there was people in the attendance that walked out. The only person that stayed that was a cast member was Drew. And that's very telling, Drew. They're going to get you, child, for staying, honey. Cynthia was disgusted. I can see it on her face. Like, I could see it on Cynthia's face. She was disgusted, okay? We all were disgusted. At the end of the day, when this information even dropped, it was disgusting. It was like, how could she do this? Why would she do this? I didn't believe it at first. I did not believe it. I thought it was a lie. But then they show pictures backstage of the actual flashcards, and we get that note that Kenya would no longer be taping. She will be suspended this season or whatever. And Kenya made her response on social media pertaining to the episode. We can read that a little bit. She said, "You have been my besties for about 12 years, and I love and appreciate you so much. Last year, you cried with me with all of my hard work from the salon was cut by production, and none of it was shown. I want to thank all my friends who showed up for me and who support me on a regular basis, who love me down." Okay, she writes all this, and I'm like, okay, girl, I'm not doing all that. I'm not reading all that. But basically, that's what she says. She also posted this. I'm like, girl, not justice for Kenya, girl. You ain't get hate crimes. Like, girl, justice for Kenya, girl. This is the clip from the damn show, child. I don't know if I can show that much, but no, there was people walking out. This is horrible. Now, Cynthia has made a statement because she was on Watch What Happens Live, and she talked about it. Her and Cynthia are not talking. We talked about this on the last episode. They're not talking. And Kenya also made a post talking about it was like a repost video of NeNe Leakes talking about Cynthia and how she's not a good friend and how she didn't choose her, was on her side with it, and this, that, and the third. She did the same thing with Portia when Portia, like, why would you think somebody would get down? I know I said what I said last episode. I still don't feel like Kenya should have got fired, or if anything, Kenya and Brittany Eady should have got fired, because it's very clear that it was an investigation for both situations. Okay, Brittany should have left too. If that's the case, if we're going to get rid of Kenya, we got to get rid of Brittany too. Okay, so because both things were said, I think threatening somebody with a gun, that's not Bravo, but also doing revenge porn is also like just very taboo, and just, so she's coming after people that are basically like, oh, you were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong, and it was disgusting. And the fact that you had the nerve to sit there and say that Brittany Eady was like, oh, well, she's taking food and she's taking money away from my daughter. Bitch, you are taking money away from your daughter. You spent $400,000. You're $400,000 in debt because you put it onto the salon, and that's the way you open your salon? Showing people skin. Okay. That's what we do? Is that what business people do? At this point, you better be lucky if anybody wants to go in there. Cause girl, I don't know. You might be taking pictures of me with my hair not done or whatever, and you say, okay, and if I ain't tip you hard, like, your people might want to post me up looking crazy. You get what I'm saying? That's not good business. It's not good business. And I think that there really is something wrong with Kenya. There's something like psychologically, I don't know, like the fact that she think, girl, justice for Kenya, that was overboard. I was like, girl, now. But anyway, this is what Cynthia said in regards to the situations that's been happening to child. Girl, take a look at this.
Was your reaction to Bravo's investigation of both incidents and then the decision to stop shooting with Kenya?
Shocked. I think most of the cast was shocked. We were totally shocked. We didn't know what, if anything, was going to happen. It was also sad because we didn't want to lose Kenya off the season. We didn't, because she's a big player on the show.
I didn't want to lose Kenya either.
I know. All those good confessionals and stuff, all those shady, funny things. And for us, it's like I keep saying, I felt like you guys, the network, had such a great vision for season 16, putting this specific cast together. And it's just so unfortunate that the fans didn't get to see it play out with the cast, including Kenya.
Yeah, I think that the decision to take away Bravo is going to look out for the company. Okay. And at the end of the day, a law was broke. So they had to make the hasty decision to not film with Kenya. I don't know if this was all Brittany Eady's legal team trying to sit there and try to get a deal like this to go forward. I think it was probably like, hey, we don't want any legal action taken. Okay. So we have to part ways. Like, girl. And it's so hard to defend you. Cause like I saw that, and it like, I think hearing about it and getting the tea on it, so before the episode even dropped, like we were like, okay, well, girl, ain't that bad. But when you actually see it, like when I say I cringed the last 5 minutes of the episode. Like, it was just so hard to watch. And it's just, girl, you've been through so much. This is what we doing? It's like you never changed. You never evolved. You just still became the same person. That's one thing somebody else said, is Kenya really grew from what we knew her before, but like you reverted right back to the Kenya that Okay. With the props. And you see how them props at, you better be lucky that girl wasn't in there. Because she would have finished what Portia started had she been in there and them pictures would have been shown to the people. And at that point, I can't blame her if she wants to do anything to you at that point. Because I could just see it. If it were me, oh, hell no, we scrap it. Go outside. Like you're stepping outside. This is crazy. It's so crazy. We're not going to see Kenya again. Look, I mean, farewell. I wish she just would have kept it at I'm ignoring her and then she walks out, or just do some sneak, get the security to kick her out or something like that. That's housewife shit. This stuff that you doing, this is not even baddies. They're not even doing this on baddies. Maybe now that's TV. They doing that shit over there, throwing piss at people and stuff and all this other crap. Child, that's what it's giving, Kenya. Girl. Y'all will tell me what y'all think about that in the comments. I am done off of this topic, okay? We will be back with the next video, okay? Just disappointed. Just very disappointed.